It's 3 in the morning. The world outside is still, wrapped in a heavy, uneasy silence. Most of your neighbors are deep in sleep, unaware of what's about to unfold. Suddenly, that silence is ripped apart. A violent crash shatters the night, echoing down the empty street and jolting you from your dreams. You jolt awake, heart pounding in your chest, adrenaline surging as you try to make sense of the chaos. You creep to the window, every step cautious, peering out into the darkness, searching for the source of the commotion. Not a raccoon, not a deer, nothing you've ever seen in your yard before. Instead, you see a hulking dark beast with glinting tusks, tearing up your backyard with relentless force, rooting through the earth as if it owns the place. It's a wild boar, and it's destroying everything in its path. Your garden, your peace, your sense of security, nothing is safe. This isn't a campfire story or a tall tale told to scare children. It's happening now, in places you'd never expect, suburbs, city edges, even quiet neighborhoods like yours. From Texas suburbs to California vineyards, the wild is pushing into our world, blurring the boundaries between human and animal territory. These animals are survivors, tough, smart, and incredibly destructive. They adapt quickly, learning how to break through fences and evade traps. They're not just a nuisance, they're a challenge to everything we think we control. They're a force of nature, unstoppable and unafraid, testing the limits of our defenses. We're in a battle for territory, resources, and survival. A contest that's been playing out for centuries, now right in your backyard. When this uninvited guest arrives, are you ready to defend what's yours? Or will you watch as it takes over? The boar in your yard is more than a pest. It's a symbol of a larger invasion, a warning that the wild is closer than you think. They weigh over 400 pounds, towering over most dogs and even some people. They can run 30 miles per hour faster than you'd ever expect, and wield razor-sharp tusks capable of inflicting serious damage. This is a clash between modern life and an ancient beast, a confrontation that feels almost mythic in its intensity. Your garden is a wasteland, the soil torn up, plants shredded, all your hard work undone in a single night. Your sense of safety, shattered. The comfort of home replaced by a creeping sense of vulnerability. This isn't just about a ruined lawn, it's about control, about who really owns the land beneath your feet. Who claims this land, us or them? The answer is no longer obvious. This encounter is your wake-up call, a reminder that nature doesn't always stay where we want it. The battle is here, and there are no second chances. Every decision matters when the wild comes knocking. You adapt or you lose. The rules have changed, and only the prepared will endure. The wild boar has made its move. Now it's your turn to respond, to reclaim your ground. The line between civilization and wilderness is gone. The game is on, and the outcome is uncertain. Are you prepared to fight for your home, to stand your ground against the wild? The wild is knocking at your door. Will you answer, or will you let it in? Or will you be the next to fall, another casualty in the growing conflict between man and nature? To truly understand this war, we have to look back, way back, to the very roots of the chaos. The story of wild boars in North America is a tale of unintended consequences, shaped by centuries of human ambition and oversight. Wild boars didn't just appear out of nowhere, they were brought here deliberately, as part of a grand plan that would spiral out of control. In the 1500s, Spanish explorers landed in Florida, bringing tough, hardy pigs as walking food supplies. These animals were meant to feed explorers on long journeys, but they were far more resilient than anyone expected. Some pigs escaped captivity, vanishing into the wild, where they quickly adapted to their new home. Over generations, these pigs reverted to their wild instincts, growing tusks, thick hides, and fierce survival skills. They became something new, something dangerous. They became feral, rediscovering their wild roots and thriving in the untamed American landscape. This was the first wave, a quiet invasion that went largely unnoticed for centuries. Then in the early 1900s, wealthy landowners, always seeking a bigger challenge, wanted more excitement for their hunting parties. They imported Eurasian wild boars, larger, more aggressive, and even more adaptable, and released them on private preserves, thinking they could control the outcome. But these boars escaped, interbreeding with the already feral hogs, creating a new, unpredictable hybrid. The result? A hybrid super pig, cunning, tough, explosively reproductive, and nearly impossible to eradicate. This new breed could thrive anywhere: deserts, forests, farmlands, even in places where other animals struggled to survive. They eat anything: crops, garbage, small animals, and they multiply at an astonishing rate, overwhelming ecosystems. The invasion accelerated, spreading like a biological wildfire across the continent, unstoppable and relentless. This wasn't just an animal adapting, it was an army conquering a continent, reshaping the land in its wake. The boar's spread is a direct result of human choices, decisions made long ago, with consequences we're only now beginning to grasp. Now we're facing the consequences, as wild boars tear through towns, farms, and forests, leaving destruction in their wake. The wild boar is here to stay. Their numbers are exploding, and their impact is felt everywhere, from rural fields to city streets. This is not just history, it's our present, and the story is still unfolding. The battle lines are drawn, the invasion is real, and the stakes have never been higher, and it's only getting worse. The war with wild boars is just beginning, and the outcome is far from certain. To survive, you need to know your enemy. And in the world of wild animals, few adversaries are as cunning, as resourceful, or as underestimated as the wild boar. Wild boars are among the most intelligent, adaptable mammals on Earth. They thrive in forests, fields, and even on the edges of cities, always finding a way to make any environment their own. Forget the farm pig stereotype. These animals learn, communicate, and solve problems. They use complex vocalizations and body language to coordinate with each other, and can even remember solutions to puzzles for years. Miss a boar once, and it will outsmart you next time. They quickly recognize traps and teach others to avoid them too. They adapt to our patterns, learning our routines and avoiding danger. Some even change their feeding times to avoid humans, becoming nocturnal in high-risk areas. Boars live in tight-knit groups called sounders, led by a matriarch. This leadership is crucial for their survival. This is a family, not a random herd. Each member has a role, and the bonds between them are strong. The matriarch teaches survival, where to find food, water, and how to avoid humans. Her experience is the key to the group's success. Knowledge passes down, making each generation smarter. Young boars learn by watching and imitating, picking up vital skills from day one. Their diet? Anything and everything. Roots, crops, insects, eggs, even small animals. If it's edible, a boar will find it. Their rooting tears up land, destroying crops and habitats. They can transform a landscape overnight, leaving chaos in their wake. But their real weapon is reproduction. Their ability to multiply is unmatched among large mammals. A single sow can have 2 litters a year, up to 12 piglets each time. That's a population explosion waiting to happen. Populations can double in a year. In some places they're spreading faster than anyone can control. Even heavy culling barely slows them down. Remove a few and more quickly take their place. They're built to survive, bounce back, and overwhelm. Their resilience is legendary. This isn't just an animal, it's a relentless, evolving force. Every challenge only makes them stronger. Outwitting them is a constant challenge. Hunters and farmers are always one step behind. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. Wild boars are rewriting the rules of survival. The wild boar is a phenomenon, a living testament to nature's power and unpredictability, and it's changing the game. Wherever they go, the world must adapt. Are you ready to keep up? Because the wild boar never stops moving forward. The front lines aren't deep in the woods, they're everywhere. Farms, neighborhoods, parks, even golf courses are under siege. Imagine months of work destroyed overnight by a sounder of boars. The USDA estimates over $2.5 billion in damages every year. It's not just crops, lawns, gardens, and public spaces are fair game. Boars are drawn to easy meals, lush grass, garbage, pet food. The conflict is personal, a direct threat to our order and safety. Boars can be dangerous, especially when cornered or protecting young. Their tusks inflict devastating injuries. Attacks on hunters, hikers, even homeowners are real. The threat is physical and psychological. People invest in fences, lights, and neighborhood watches, not for burglars but for pigs. Every noise at night could be them. It's a war of nerves, a test of endurance. Who will break first? The wild is inside our walls. The siege is constant. This is life on the front lines. Facing such a foe, we've had to innovate. First, exclusion. Heavy-duty fences, buried deep and electrified, are the new norm for farmers. It's expensive, but sometimes the only way to keep boars out. When fences fail, we go on the offensive. Trapping has evolved. Large, high-tech corrals with remote-triggered gates and live video feeds. Patience is key. Wait until the whole sounder is inside, then spring the trap. Hunting is another tool. Regulations are loosened. Night vision and thermal scopes give hunters an edge. In some places, helicopters are used to control populations. It's controversial, but for some, it's survival. The best approach? Combine everything: fences, traps, hunting, and public education. Don't leave food out. Use trained dogs. Research new technologies like pig-specific toxins. There's no single solution. To win, we must be as adaptable as the boar. Intelligence, teamwork, and persistence are our best weapons. The human tribe must outsmart the boar tribe. The challenge is ongoing. The stakes are high. Adapt or lose. The battle is relentless. Are you ready to fight back? Every time we adapt, so do the boars. Trap-shy matriarchs lead their families away from danger, teaching the next generation to avoid our tricks. In heavily hunted areas, boars become nocturnal, hiding in dense, inaccessible cover by day. They use the landscape as a fortress, making pursuit nearly impossible. Fences that work today might fail tomorrow. Boars test, push, and break through weak spots. Leave a gate open, and they'll find it. Their relentless opportunism keeps them one step ahead. Their numbers are their greatest weapon. For every 10 removed, 20 more wait in the woods. It's a numbers game and they're winning. They don't need a plan, just survival, food, and reproduction. Their endurance is unmatched. The long game favors them. We're fighting a master of adaptation, and right now they're winning. The lesson: never underestimate your opponent. This isn't just our fight. The whole ecosystem suffers. Boars uproot native plants, destroy forest floors, and cause massive soil erosion. They outcompete wildlife for food, devouring acorns and nuts vital to deer and turkeys. Ground-nesting birds, reptiles, and even endangered species fall victim to their appetite. They spread disease: over 30 viruses and bacteria, nearly 40 parasites threatening livestock, wildlife, and humans. The damage ripples through the food chain. The environmental cost is staggering. The wild boar is a wrecking ball in nature's web. Can we win, or must we find a truce? Total eradication is a fantasy. Boars are too smart, too prolific. The new goal: manage, not eliminate. Scientists are developing pig-specific toxic baits and smarter traps. We must change our habits, secure garbage, fence gardens, adapt farming. The key is coexistence, not conquest. Balance is possible, but it requires a shift in mindset. The future depends on finding that balance. So what does it mean to win? Eliminating every boar is impossible. Pushing them back only works for a while. Maybe winning means redefining the game, managing, not eradicating. The wild boar is a mirror, reflecting our own impact on nature. This is a battle with ourselves as much as with them. Nature adapts, endures, and pushes back. Can we find a way to coexist, or are we doomed to endless conflict? The next move is ours. Our survival depends on our answer. The game isn't over, the wild is still at the door.